loving it. Just loving it.
Hey everybody, I am B-Side here at TVgasm.com, and I am sitting here with Mike Boogie, the winner of Big Brother All-Stars, and the venerable Dr. Will,
Thank you.
also an all-star in his own right.
Oh, thank you.
And a winner from season 2, of course. Yeah, a while back, but
dust off my trophy.
Check clear.
Yeah,
Check
exactly.
clear.
The check is still coming through. So anyway, welcome guys. Thanks for coming by
Hey,
TVgasm.
thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Very just really random. You guys happen to be in the hood, so
Our spontaneity game is strong to quite strong.
yeah.
So,
Well, you guys proved this summer that you guys can improvise pretty quickly. You know.
got it. That's what I like to say.
So what have you guys been doing since the show wrapped up?
Well, Will's obviously gone back to his medical practice.
Just got out of work. Thanks for asking.
Very
Things are
nice.
good over there. A little busy. If you need some Botox, I think you need to look no further.
Oh yeah, save some lives a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
That's good. That's good.
I've been busy just getting back to the restaurants at the Dolce Group,
really?
which you can learn more at dolcegroup.com. You obviously know how to use a computer because you're watching us now.
I had
And,
no idea that you were associated with this Dolce.
Oh, it's
restaurant.
Oh, you didn't,
Stop
huh?
the presses.
Didn't
I thought
get
you were
that
just-
point
Stop
across
the
this summer?
presses.
Yeah, so just been busy expanding the
Expanding
restaurant
to
thing.
where?
To Reno,
Oh.
we're doing a Dolce, and then Atlanta, Georgia, we're doing 3 places down there.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So wait, now let's talk about a little bit about the Big Brother stuff and everything. Okay, so
Yeah,
last time
we've never talked about
Yeah,
that.
you guys haven't
been
talked
talking
about
about that a lot.
last time we saw you, at least, this is actually even after Big Brother, you were on The View and you were reamed out by Rosie O'Donnell.
Sure, sure.
Reamed out. Like what was that like? What was that experience like?
You know what? It was. I literally walked out of the Big Brother house. I hadn't seen anybody else besides the other house guests. And then 12 hours later, I'm in the heart of New York City, and she's screaming and angry. And
Yeah.
I honestly, my head was still back in the Big Brother house, and I just sort of sat there and took it good-naturedly. I'm not quite sure what her deal was.
I mean, were a lot of the interviewers like really harsh on him? Because when you came out of the house, I mean, a lot of the viewers were not big fans of you, Boogie.
See, I disagree.
Yeah?
I disagree. It's the small vocal few. I think maybe
Yeah.
1% was unhappy, but 98, 99% was thrilled.
I mean,
It's just entertainment.
what are they gonna? I mean, there's a lot of haters out there. They always look to tear down the people. If Erica had won, they would have found something about her. If Janela won, well, maybe if Janela won, they wouldn't have found. She could do no wrong.
she can really.
But I mean, what are you gonna say? Am I supposed to worry about that when I'm driving to Bank of America? I mean, what
yeah.
can you say? It's no big skin off my back. I said some mean things, and my thing was, if you're gonna discuss the mean things, you need to discuss the weeks and weeks and weeks of unbelievable gameplay that we did, and a lot of people aren't even willing to talk about that. So
What's going on with you and Erica now?
we don't really speak.
No?
Yeah, she. You know,
I spoke to Erica today.
he
can
talks
call
to
her
all
up,
the
we have her
time.
number.
He talks all the time. No,
Should we give her a call?
she's cool. I mean, I don't really have any problem with her.
Yeah.
I think it was obviously very stressful for her, and to be honest, with the exception of Will and us doing some fun things like this, I've moved on already. Will's moved on. I don't really have any need to sit and discuss what happened week 9.
I think we have a question over here.
Why do people take this show so seriously?
I don't know.
It's just entertainment. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's just, don't get your hopes up. It's just a
I'll
reality show.
tell you what
Please
people
do.
get, because this is what we do. I mean,
Okay.
well, because it is entertainment, and it's like a
course.
soap opera. It really is, and everyone gets wrapped up. By the end of the season, you're calling people such vicious things. Like, we've said some vicious things about you guys on the site, and what happens is you get wrapped up in it, and you get wrapped up in the characters. I mean, that's one thing that we always talk about, that we do know that people are different from what you see on TV. But,
B-side. Thank you.
B-side.
Thank you.
sometimes it just has to be said, damn it.
Yeah.
He gets it.
But the thing is this, you're bored, it's the middle of summer, it's a fun show, and you start to attach yourself to characters. And, with anything you watch, you have your heroes that you want to do well, and you got your villains that you want to take down, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, perhaps some of these people should look in the mirror and, discuss with themselves why it's so important to them to do that, instead of coming at, people like us.
But you guys went on the show twice, so, it's the flip side. But,
We have no problem with it.
Right.
It's
I love being
so
a villain.
fine.
I don't have
we
any
love being
problem with
villains.
that.
It's fine.
I get great responses, too. Like,
Yeah, I
nothing-
mean, I got-
Yeah.
Everyone who comes up to me has questions, super friendly, no problem.
Well, you were an excellent villain. I mean, you were.
Thank you.
You really were, and I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here and blowing smoke up your ass. Like, you
say
you
that?
What kind of show is this?
It's
Whoa.
just a bullshit show, but basically, yeah, you guys can curse here. It's okay. It's just the internet.
Awesome.
So say whatever you want.
Fucking
yeah.
cool. Fuck
But,
yeah.
I mean,
These guys are pretty cool cocksuckers.
yeah. By the way, Jay, if anyone wondering, Jay is sitting right there. Unfortunately, we don't have enough space and stuff here. But we here's the thing. You were really crafty. I mean, you guys were, in a certain sense, I think, for reality viewers, almost like a wet dream, because whenever you watch these shows, you always want people to be really crafty and turn people against each other, and that's what you guys did. The only thing that made it strange this season was because it was All-Stars. I know for me, at least, I think a lot of our readers was everyone had a previous allegiance to season 6 coming in.
Sure.
So everyone automatically loved them, and it was hard to get behind all your craftiness, even though we all sort of secretly loved it, you know?
Sure.
And how's that, like, affected the way people have reacted to you? Do people love you guys because of it, or are they...
Yeah, I mean, I think people have to appreciate the fact that those 4 people came in as an alliance, and when you do the math, they had an incredible advantage.
Right.
And not only did they come in as 4, they won the first 4 head of households, which obviously is...
Are we just? I can't believe we're discussing
power.
this.
Yeah,
still.
seriously.
Oh, come on. What do you mean?
It's fun.
They don't want to
Listen,
talk about anything else.
People respect
We'll
entertainment.
talk about this stuff.
People respect entertainment. I hope people, realize that we tried to give them a good show. It was fun while we were doing it.
Yeah, in addition to the craftiness, we also came to entertain.
Yeah.
I love James. He's not there to entertain you. Howie, to some degree, yes. Janelle, sort of more by osmosis.
Right.
Kaser, definitely not. So, I mean, you don't want to watch 14 Kasers.
Right.
He can be the nice Iraqi peach and all that, and we love him. He's a
Right.
great guy. But you need
He's a
guys
great
like
guy.
us.
Who had the
You-
worst strategy going in?
Out of
I
everybody?
mean, there was people
like,
who didn't have strategy, really,
Yeah.
I'd say Diane
Yeah.
had a pretty...
What was wrong with her
See,
strategy?
the thing is, it's hard to comment on people because if you say someone had a bad strategy, instantly it's implied that you don't like them as a person, which
Yeah.
is not
Right.
the case. Because I
No,
actually
no.
think Diane is great.
Yeah,
I
do
love
too.
her.
She just didn't really come to play, and
yeah.
I've told
Yeah.
that to her face. I think that season 6 as a whole had terrible
Yeah.
gameplay, with the exception of James. I think because he did know what was going on. He
Yeah.
begged them to put us up.
He seemed a little bitchy at times, and I feel like that sort of got the best of him.
The game was important to him,
Yeah.
and I think when it didn't go his way, it affected him a lot.
all
Whereas
it was.
we just sort of assimilated to the game, whereas he took it on head on, and when it didn't go his way, he kind of had
You have to
difficult
be
times.
one with the universe, float
Yeah.
downstream.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think that one of the problems that James had and some other people in the house is that they fixated on this idea about floaters. I mean, for me, from on the outside, who cares if people are floating? It's all strategy. I mean, why were people so obsessed with the floaters?
Because we made them.
We tried
Yeah.
to vilify. We tried to
Yeah,
vilify
we-
the floaters so they'd worry about them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's something we
We put
mentioned
the-
that a lot on the
We
site.
put the scarlet F on several of those people, and
Right.
it took us, in being so brazen, and put us off to the side and illuminated that the floaters were the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't even nearly as together as we made it seem like
Right.
they were. And that was extremely valuable for us going as far as we did.
Did you guys see all the episodes? Have you gone back and watched the seasons?
I've seen about half. He's
Mm-hmm.
seen like
Like
none.
4.
Is there stuff that hasn't been shown that you think should have been shown? Or
Oh,
that
yeah.
sometimes where you're like, hey,
Yeah,
wait a second.
definitely. I don't think it...
They should have let us produce it. I mean,
They-
call me crazy, but
I don't think they showed. I mean, we were brazen sitting there with the T-shirts and stuff, but
Yeah.
I was literally, especially early on when there was a little more alcohol, like my birthday and stuff, I was literally looking people in the face like, I fucking hate you, I'm coming after you, we are going to take you out, the season 6ers, and
Right.
they never really showed that. And they also didn't really, because they don't want to show collusion and that like the games are rigged sometimes, they didn't really illuminate how much Will and I were throwing games to Janelle to
Right.
keep her in the game. Which is a major turning point for us. Not only Will manipulating her on the social level, but us throwing contests. And, everyone's like, oh, Janelle should have won. She won so many contests. Well, no, she didn't. We threw her a bunch of contests.
Right.
And, so.
they also didn't show the world's greatest food fight since the movie Animal House. And
Yeah.
that was disappointing because you put so much effort into cramming chocolate cake on Chicken George's head, and
You
people
expect
don't
that to be
appreciate
shown.
that.
That's what
It's a
happened. with,
travesty.
no, that's a terrible travesty. I would have loved to have seen a food fight on the show.
Yeah, we had a big one.
I have a question now.
Pretty
How do you feel? In
I'll
many
always
ways,
remember it.
I'll
I'll never forget.
As you should. I'm sure it's a vital memory in your life now. But how do you feel, Boogie? I mean, Will, you got a lot of attention. And pretty much everyone credited Will for coming up with all the plans and stuff like that. Did you ever feel overshadowed or anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely felt like my gameplay was sort of underappreciated, but with the result, it didn't really matter to me. I think that Will knows, and that's really all that's important. He's you're in his shadow of his legend, and that's why had he got to the final 2, which we really wanted, I'm sure he would have won.
See, I've
7-0.
heard that a little bit, but I honestly was kind of surprised.
Well,
It's like it almost discounts what you did. You won. He won everything other than the $5,000 I won.
Right.
He won every other single prize. I don't think.
But were you throwing stuff? Because
Oh, I threw everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that was my strategy. I made that really clear. That wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, that's the
You
thing.
won
I mean,
everything.
I think I
You
won
won everything. It's not
I
like you didn't win
won-
some stuff.
You know,
Right.
he takes incredible risks. That's how he won the first time, and that's how he got so far this time.
Right.
I wasn't willing to take those risks, and you know, things. Forget the winning the car. Think about when Chicken George, on no notice, we had to do the veto ceremony.
Yeah.
Will took an incredibly brazen risk by saying, "Go ahead and put me up,"
Right.
and he was going to, and those people could have flipped, and he could have left instead of Howie. But I was the one that took the chance to,
Right, and it's those little. It looked small at the time, but it's huge.
Yeah,
it's
there was a
monumental.
huge
It's a big
moment
turning
to
point.
convince Chicken George in 5 minutes, maybe not even 3 minutes, through my verbal and social skills. Yet, we were in alliance at that time with everybody in the room, so how did I put that information out there without alienating the other people? And I found a way to do that.
Were you shocked that you weren't voted out? So in
Yeah.
the first week or two.
I
mean,
was
it seemed
surprised.
like you were like the biggest target right from the get-go.
I tried to wipe the target off my back bit by bit. At the beginning, I was totally comfortable going home. That's very true. Once we hit the sequester point, I flipped the switch and tried to play more aggressively.
Right. Well, because it was interesting because when we were sitting there watching those first few weeks, and Kaser would say, he kept on saying, "I'm not worried about Dr. Will. I'm not worried at all."
They're
And
jokes.
we kept on, we just kept on saying like, you're being idiotic, because I think that on season 6, their season was such a numbers game because there was like just two sides of the house. They just went back and forth.
Yeah.
This season was much more complicated. That I think he obviously underestimated you guys because he was out way before you. I mean,
Well, that's why we so much illuminated the floaters as if they were being together.
Yeah.
When in reality,
It's divide and
Chicken
conquer.
George and Marcellus and Erica, it was like a motley crew that really weren't together.
Right.
And so they just looked at them as, I think for us, when Kaser called us up to the HOH room and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to shake up the game and I'm not going to nominate you guys." And we're like, "Oh my God, is this really happening?" Like,
I didn't even believe it.
Thank
I still
goodness.
thought we were
Yeah.
going up. I didn't.
yeah, everyone thought so. We were watching, we're like, this is just misdirection. And then when he didn't put you guys up, it was just like,
The reason the week that Kaser and James were up, I actually wanted to keep Kaser and we wanted to get rid of James, but Kaser, didn't have the votes. He didn't have it in him to do it, and I don't know. We tried to help him.
Do you think Danielle could have saved herself towards the end? 'Cause towards the end, when she just went crazy, it seemed like she could have probably campaigned for herself.
She was close. If it was one of those things, if things had gone just a little bit differently, she could have made it to the final.
that
four.
was huge when Will stayed with Erica in the HOH room. And had Danielle come with a little more honey rather than vinegar, or however that saying
Yeah.
goes, she probably could have
Yeah.
gotten Erica to be a girl and cry and feel too bad and maybe not do it. But she got so crazy that it
Yeah,
made
she
it
gave us an
total
inch and we
choke.
took a mile.
Yeah.
I was like, let's hide in the back. We're scared of her, and it helped. But I was scared of her.
Right. And what about Howie? How do you guys feel about Howie?
I actually have a lot of respect for Howie.
As you defer to Boogie right
No,
now.
I talk to Howie all the time. Howie came in-
Howie's real cool. What I really
Yeah.
like about him is, everybody was so sure. I knew that he would vote for me to win, and Erica was so sure, and I kept saying, "Yeah, I know," just because of that 1 minute when he left. But the thing is with Howie is he really respects the game, and he's an all-star, and he voted like one because I did play a better game. And then there's people like Marcellus who just act like what everybody thought Howie was going to.
Now, well, were you stirring shit up at the jury house, by the
No,
way?
I don't know if I'd say that. Maybe a little bit.
Were you? I mean, because
Yeah.
I have to say, I was. Oh wait, Jaden
Sure,
has a
please.
question.
What were you seeing? What was the karaoke piece that you did? Because
Janet's asking about a karaoke piece.
Yeah,
doing karaoke, but nobody. I want to know what song you were singing.
Jaden wants to
there
know
was
what
a
song you're
couple.
singing at karaoke.
I have a couple
During
favorites. but-
sequester, some of the house guests were caught on a local news singing karaoke,
Yeah.
and they weren't really supposed to be doing things
What are
like
your
that.
favorite karaoke? I just need to know.
Oh, there's some. This is the thing. You can sing a song very well, but not necessarily like that song or even
Right.
that genre.
No.
Garth Brooks, "Friends in Low Places." That's a great
That's
song.
at our
to sing,
fraternity.
you know?
That was the song we sang at the
You
end of
can
every
sing-
formal.
I'm not saying
every
Jay-Z's
formal.
doing a version anytime soon. I'm just saying it's an easy song to sing karaoke to.
That song.
We sang "What a Man." There's a lot of great ones out there. Some
That's
Journey.
little sheep. Oh, okay, very nice, very nice.
Sorry to take you off.
Oh,
No.
great.
I was
That's
actually going to
on
ask
topic.
that. Yeah, I was going to say that's very on topic.
Sequester House was
Yeah.
one of the most fun weeks in my life. It was amazing because I went there and I was so afraid that everyone was going to be angry at me, and they weren't angry at me. And in fact, it was a lot of fun, and you got to see people outside of the context of the game. James, Chicken George, Howie, Danielle, hanging out with them was amazing. I think the behind-the-scenes story people don't know about Sequester is Marcellus was never in Sequester. Marcellus was there maybe an hour, and then he left because he got in a splash fight with Howie, and he went to a hotel. So Marcellus feels like he has information
Really?
about the sequester house. I think that's what I've heard
But
from
he
house
said on his
guests.
blog that he was like, you know, he was ill or something like that.
Well, he was ill because he was embarrassed. This is what
Oh.
happened. I'm going to tell the story.
We'll
And
get,
I
we'll
like
get Marcellus on here next week.
I like Marcellus. What happened is, and I'm telling this secondhand because I wasn't there, apparently Howie splashed Marcellus. Marcellus got very upset. Marcellus wanted the producers to find out if it's against the law to splash someone and if that's assault. The producers were literally laughing, like trying to keep a straight face with him. They were cracking up. He wanted to go back to a hotel, so he sat alone in the hotel and played cards while the rest of us had a great time in sequester. And I like Marcellus. I think Marcellus is a great guy. He's a great stylist. He's a fun guy. But it kind of sums up his experience on Big Brother is he didn't really have a good time. And if you don't have a good time and you don't give the fans entertainment and you don't enjoy yourself in general, it translates into a poor gameplay.
I imagine taking it too seriously outside the house is not nearly as rough as it is to take it too seriously inside the house.
Exactly. I think you're right.
Did you guys have any sort of deals with Marcellus going in? Because you guys are LA-based. You guys talked beforehand?
Yeah, we had dinner before, but I think from his perspective and ours, it was always like, we're not really going to trust each other.
See, I disagree. Like, I was ready to do something with Marcellus, but from the second we walked in the door, he never gave me a sense of confidence.
He floated to the power immediately.
Immediately. He never had a conversation with us unless it was the day before the HOH. And I genuinely would have worked with Marcellus. I would have worked with anyone, but he never gave me any confidence that he was going to be with us.
He was a danger to us because he was the one person after, like, a couple weeks that you didn't know where he stood. And I just didn't want him to slide some key down a thing and knock us out of the game, knock one of us out of the game. So
and he would have.
We had to get him out.
Now, what about Janelle? I mean, Janelle is the super popular player who, like, this summer she did not play nearly as well as she did last year. I mean, she, at least from our side, even though she made it to the final three, so I can't say she played terribly. But it was frustrating to watch her because it always seemed like you guys were sort of pulling a fast one on her. I mean, was she really being duped a lot, or was she just playing dumb?
She's being duped, but you have to give her a lot of credit in taking an incredible risk in trusting us.
Yeah.
Because we did have intentions of bringing her far in the game. And for all we did when we kicked out her best friend and she worked with us and we showed each other signs of trust, I threw her the doll during the doll competition.
Yeah, that was awesome, by the way.
She...
Did you guys see that episode yet?
No.
No.
Because James complained so much in the diary room about the frickin'
whatever,
like,
the doll or whatever.
it was just the most ridiculous thing ever,
Yeah. So
Check
Janelle's
out
a
every
phenomenal
single
player.
day.
She's a lot like Danielle in that I think she's one of the one or two best players to never win this game.
This season was really all-stars. When I went in, I thought it wasn't, and as I watched the game progress, it really was, because the final half of the show, any of those people could have made one little tiny move and won the game. They didn't have trust in their groups. They didn't have trust in their alliance.
And I think actually, just from watching it, the first half of the season was a little slow because
Yeah.
it pretty much was either season 6 picking off floaters or season 6 starting to a little crumble. But then once there were enough season 6ers out of there, like I think once Kaser was gone, I think the show started to, and then James jumped over to Legion of Doom. That's when the show started to get really interesting because that's when the real scheming started to go on and all sorts of nutty things started to happen.
I agree.
Do you think? What about Allison? She would have.
She could have done really well.
She could have really shaken stuff up.
Everyone was really afraid of her. I didn't really know her. I didn't really get a chance to meet her. I thought,
We wanted to keep her the first week. I mean, we were tried right up until the vote. We were going to get rid of Danielle.
Yeah.
But then people were too afraid. Erica was very adamant about getting her out, and I think all in all, it was probably better that we took a wild card out of the game.
Was there anyone who didn't make it into the house that you would have liked to have seen in the house?
I thought Lisa Donahue deserved to be there.
She could have been there.
She was a past winner. She was a,
But she's considered a floater also. She probably would have been considered.
She
floater,
is,
right?
but if you're going to put Erica in there, then you might as well have her. I mean, is Nokomis a floater? It's.
Nokomis could have done some stuff. I
if
think.
you can't win this game without a reasonable level of skill and acumen, and she won, and she did deserve to be there. Her personality is very low key. Sometimes people get called floaters. Erica, although I will call her a floater, at the same time she finished fourth and second, and that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah, exactly.
That is part of the game to float.
Do you not watch the other seasons?
I watched season 2 and a little bit of 3. So that's what was weird for me is everyone was like, oh, we're so afraid of Allison. I didn't watch her season, so I didn't know why they were afraid. Everyone said Nokomis is so intelligent. She seemed really smart, but I didn't watch her season, so I never understood why people were so afraid of those two in particular.
Do you watch reality TV in general?
Yeah, but
I'll sometimes watch Survivor.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like only competition based. Oh, Flavor of Love.
Flavor of
Please,
Love.
let me get that. boots.
Boogie,
New
I
York.
saw you
New York,
on
you're
the
hot.
Food Network, actually.
Oh, you
I
did?
saw you on the
Food
Giallo
Network?
Oh, I'll
Orientis,
throw this
Everyday
mug out
Italian.
anywhere. I'll show my
Yeah.
internet.
Hey, did you see him
TV.
on Supermarket Sweeps?
Supermarket
That's what
Were
I
you
want
on
to know.
Supermarket Sweeps?
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I want to know.
You guys should go on a
13
game show.
years ago.
See if
Put
you
us
get-
on one,
We'll be
TVgasm.com.
Maybe we'll
don't
make
care.
one up, you
We
know?
don't care.
Please, would you?
We're trying.
Are you
You
gonna...
want to go with us to the Scream Awards tomorrow?
What's the
What
Scream
is that?
Awards?
It's
With
Spike TV's...
Spike TV.
He asked if we want to go to the Scream Awards. I am going to go scream at some Playboy Playmates in Vegas at the opening of the Palms Playboy Club.
Oh.
But thanks for the invite.
Ooh, outclassing our
Thanks for
Scream
the
Awards.
invite.
invite.
No, I'm sure they'll be
wow.
phenomenal.
Wow, flattening us
But
right
if I'm
there.
going to get
I'm
kicked
going
out
to
of
Bed
some,
Bath & Beyond. I got a 20% off coupon, and I got to
Oh.
return my Arrow bed.
You have a
Oh,
story-
yeah.
You have a story about that.
Oh, yeah.
You want a quick story?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
There's always alliances going on, and I'm going to end this story Quentin Tarantino. I'm going to start the story Quentin Tarantino style. It ends with me going like this. Yeah, bitch, well, you have the ugliest shit in all of Bed Bath & Beyond anyway. And then I run out. I'm going to break it down really quick. I was in Bed Bath & Beyond. I was trying to return my Arrow bed and get 20% off because I had the coupon. They moved me to another register. I had to move back to the original register. This happened. This happened today.
Nerd alert.
And anyway,
I'm like,
this woman
"Dude,
thought I
what?"
was cutting.
Coupons, and they'll do.
I know that now.
Jana just said that you can use 2
I had
coupons.
Bed Bath & Beyond. So anyway, this woman thought I was cutting in line, and I wasn't. They moved me to another register, and I moved back. So she in essence said, Chilltown isn't here to protect you. Dr. Will, you got no alliance, and you're breaking in line. So then I used my coupon really fast and told her she had some ugly stuff,
have we
and then I ran
transcended
out.
down pillows?
Yeah, when you know you're big
Wow.
time when you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, and people are trying to
Wow.
vote you out.
That is amazing. We've
So I was like, this isn't
transcended
the
duvet
POV.
covers.
I'm just trying to return my coupon.
Is that the craziest thing that's happened to you in like a
No.
public space? Have you gone to like Target and been like assaulted and stuff like that, or?
No, some wacky people come to the restaurants and offer up things.
Some people
Felicia.
who get way
Way
too
into
into
it.
this, like it's just a
And they're
show.
not too cute. I'm not
It's
going
just a
to
show.
lie and pretend they're hot.
No,
I could
we-
do that, but I'm not going to.
You ever do like a meet and greet with the fans, or no, is that too
Jacksonville. I'm going to be in Jacksonville this year
Are
doing
they
that.
they're
Oh.
doing the reality convention?
No, it's
Okay. I was gonna say, don't go to the
I don't know
reality.
what it is.
No offense to anyone who's organizing the reality convention, don't go to that.
you went to it.
Oh,
No, I didn't go,
There's
but I
more
heard that-
reality people than
Yeah,
fans.
I heard that. What was it? That it was
Oh.
like $3,000, something like that, and there was like I think I think 50 people showed up or something crazy low like that, and there were
No.
wasn't it?
You
like-
won't catch us at one
But
of
you
those.
can buy Howie's underwear there.
Yeah, I heard
signed.
Howie was there.
He probably
You
was
ain't
there.
catching us at one of those.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't have the Scott Long skid marks, does it?
Perhaps.
What about a little Amazing Race action? You trying to get on with?
Let me say this right now. We won't be on the next Amazing Race, and we can't discuss the Amazing Race other than that.
I would be
Yeah.
very excited.
Can't-
I know
cannot be
Janet does not.
discussed.
Janet does not like the recycling of reality stars on things like the Amazing Race, but I am all for it.
So he doesn't like All Stars? You don't like All Star versions?
I don't like.
Careful.
Incest among different shows.
He
Oh,
yeah,
like different
he's
shows.
okay with All Star, just not reality incest.
I
See,
want
I
to see
kinda-
Mike Boogie on Survivor.
I kind of liked it when Rob and Amber were getting recognized in Africa and
Yeah.
people were helping them.
I thought that was a great season.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they were good. They were good. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
We don't know what's going to go on.
No.
It's the kind of thing. It'd
We're
be
at
fun. It'd be a
TVgasm. I
lark.
got an
We're-
orange. What more do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, because they gave me some sweet Nikes. Did you look at these? I feel like
Yeah,
I'm going to the moon.
You just got
I'm going
these?
to, yeah, I'm going
Tracy
to the
Hardy
moon.
Gray at Nike. Thanks for the free stuff.
And they're not robot shoes. These are real
Those
shoes.
are like they got the spring things in them.
Mine on
exactly.
too.
Gotta love it.
Wait, Boogie,
Tracy
I have a
Hardy
question. What was the deal with all like the armbands and the headbands this summer? Is that like do
I
you
like
normally
to-
wear them, or is that like you're just sort of being in character?
I like to bring a little flavor, a
Yeah.
little soul to the proceedings.
There's a
I'm
lot,
not,
there's a
I don't
lot.
have Jace's body. I don't have.
We haven't discussed
Howie's-
Jace.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Jace
I'm
is
glad you
cool
brought
in
that
my
up.
book. I
Is
like
Jace
Jace, man.
like-
He's cool as hell.
He looked like he was wearing some makeup at the rap party. Was that me, or is he wearing a
Is
little?
that a
I
crime?
was
I mean,
hammered.
is that a
I'm not
crime?
sure.
Nah,
I
hey,
don't know.
Jace
I guess
is
when you're
cool.
dreamy like that.
Jace is
Exactly.
cool.
He's a
He's
cool
cool.
dude.
Is he
We
really
kind of
cool?
disappointed
really
that
is.
he went out so early because we
He
could have had a
looked
good
bummed.
time.
We could have made a run. We could have made a run with him.
Yeah.
He played his cards too. You know what? The funny thing is, we were all at the beginning of the season. We were thinking that he was going to go really far.
He could have.
He played his cards a little. He went that whole crazy thing when he freaked out in the yard. Okay, it looked like to us that's he kind of screwed himself up there by going nuts.
It was a done deal at that point.
So
It's
he
a
didn't
little out of
care?
time context because he knew he was going to go. So it was kind of just a little show. And he also wasn't in necessarily the best frame of mind to be there. A lot like Diane.
Yeah.
In that all of a
That
sudden
season,
he
man, those
realized
people were messed up.
Yeah, he realized he really missed his girlfriend and her daughter, and you know, it just wasn't the right time for him, I don't think. He kind of overplayed the game. I think that's the most important thing early is don't kind of let the game come to you, you know?
He blew his wad too quickly.
Well, you could say it like that.
Like
yeah.
that. It's okay.
I was going to do a sports analogy. This guy's a
you're trying to
pervert.
be like all like, you know.
Like Joe Montana, let the game come to you.
No, he blew his wad. Yeah. You just said the semen was everywhere.
He did.
See, Big Brother, it was all over the screen. Big Brother is a microcosm of life, and at the end of the day, you like that phrase? I know you love it, Big Brother. It's super fun. At the end of the day, you have to, there's things that are patterns of congruency, and loyalty and friendship transcends reality television, and when you have a loyal alliance, good things happen. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, at the end of the day, they were going to stab each other in the back. Legion of Doom, it was going to fall apart. Season 6, that was never a strong alliance.
Was Legion of Doom going to fall apart because of anything Danielle and James were going to do, or just because you guys were just going to screw them over? You're making it seem like you guys are so great, and they, you know, unfortunately.
I trusted them more than Will did, but ultimately Will was correct in the way we got rid of them.
Yeah, no, you guys.
I think
they were coming after us.
James was more trustworthy than Danielle.
The thing is, you can say whatever you want, but if it came down to the final 5 and it was us, it was the Legion of Doom and Chicken George, I guarantee they would have changed their mind and gotten rid of us. They would have, and we would have done the same to them, so we just struck first.
What do you think about Chicken George, by the way? In the beginning of the season, you guys were looking at him like he's crazy. Towards the end.
I thought I would get home and see like a different person. I didn't think he was Kaiser Soze like Danielle kept saying. But he really is just that affable, likable, nice guy. And it's weird because he's sort of this crazy guy who'll put down a ton of drinks and get a little nutty, but
like
he also has like this family, and he's just so Midwest. But
we have a nice clip, by the way, of when he was like pounding you guys in that one challenge. We have a nice clip of that we set to slow mo.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll do anything for Christmas in August.
The Chicken George in the sequester house, amazing. He was so much fun. I would do that again with him any day.
He's
and
a
in
nice
fact,
guy.
is he going to be at Reno? Can I discuss that?
Chicken, we're not sure yet, but he's going to be here next week.
Yeah, Chicken George is going to be in LA next week.
Oh.
You go to Chilltownstalker.com. You can find out where we're going to be next week and meet us out at restaurants. Am I allowed to discuss that?
You know what's interesting is that I completely forgot what I was going to say, but it was interesting. But there's something about Chicken George. Oh, you know what it was? When they announced who was going into the house, and they announced Chicken George going in, and when they announced you going in, we were all kind of in shock because Chicken George were like, why this random dude from season 1? And we just didn't know because, you know, we knew Dr. Will and everything. We were like, well, why would they put Boogie in also? Although it became pretty
As
clear.
opposed to like a Cowboy, or?
Yeah, we thought Cowboy because Cowboy was more recent and was just like Cowboy, you know, he's just ridiculous. But like Chicken George, he really grew, I think, a lot on our readers, going from, you know, everyone just thought he was just a laughing stock. And by the end, I mean, people really liked him a lot. You know?
Oh, if he had been in the final 2, he could have done some damage. I mean,
yeah, he's very likable. We wanted to take him to the final 3 just because he was legitimately terrible at the competition.
Yeah.
I mean, he was putting up times and answering questions. I mean, he was horrible, which he self admits. But he, you know, was he an all-star? I don't know. Did he deserve to be there?
He was to me.
Lisa. I mean, one thing I will say about him, the gameplay aside, which from like the producer's mindset, meaning us, he knew his role. He wore the costumes. He dressed up like an idiot. He did his belly flops. He played his position.
Know your role.
But I don't think the readers really cared about his costume. I think what was good about him also, aside from that, he brought a lot of heart to the show. Yeah. Because everyone else is being, you know, everyone's like callous and planning and stuff. He brought a lot of heart, but also he was unpredictable. Like, we didn't know what was ever going on in his mind, and that was the one thing that was sort of nice.
I haven't seen the episodes yet, but I think that it probably was a fascinating week when he, of all people, got thrust into the live nomination. And I mean, he legitimately didn't know what he was going to do, and he was just freewheeling, and it caused everyone else a lot of stress.
Right. How was that for you guys, that 1 week in 1 episode, live episode?
It was extremely stressful.
Yeah.
Extremely stressful, especially to get put up on the block like that. And
how's your finger, by the way?
It's sore. Thanks for asking. It's still sore. I had serious damage
to it. The one
to
competition he was going to win, and the thing got hung up. But
wow.
It was crazy. It was a little nuts.
Wow.
But it was good because we knew that the show was going to end early.
Right.
And when you're in there, was music to our ears.
That's what people don't realize is that the competition's 15 minutes. Twice a week, 3 times a week. You don't have to win the competitions to do well on the show. And if you're watching the show, the TV show, I'm sure it looks exciting. But if you're watching the internet, you realize there's a lot of downtime.
Right. It's boring.
It's
boring.
I saw you guys doing a Pilates class with Erica once. That was
you know it's bad when we're doing Pilates. Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah, this is a fun little
Gotta
adventure.
fill time any way you can.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you've got to be off to.
Yeah, we got to get going.
To your establishment.
This has been
there.
Are we
fun.
going to sign that
Engagement
deal
House.
for that show today or not? I don't know.
Yeah, we have to be there by 5:30.
Oh, let's do
so,
it.
B-side, thanks a lot, man.
Hey guys,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming by.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having
Thanks for the
us.
Free
summer
stuff.
of fun stuff. Definitely come on back whenever you want. You know.
Be
We're all
careful
local.
when you say that.
We'll
because
bring
send
Chicken
you a fax
George.
and be careful when
Chicken
you
George is driving out here as we speak. He bought a
Howie's
van.
in town.
Well, we'll just have to have a reunion,
them all
like
here.
Big Brother reunions here. Now,
Okay.
now the fishbowl's dead. We'll just
Why-
have to take up
why
the
not?
pick up the slack, you
Yeah.
know. So anyway, I am B-side, and thanks very much for watching.